Hey, welcome to another episode of Ask Aaron. In this one, we're going to discuss link building versus link earning and why you definitely need to be doing more of the latter. Let's get into it. Right, so you've probably heard the phrase link building before. Hopefully you've heard the phrase link earning. In this video, I'm going to share with you what the difference is, what both of them mean, and why you definitely should be moving more towards an approach of link earning rather than link building. I've hated the phrase link building for years. It's always just kind of felt a little bit, I've kind of changed the analogy of link building to be link begging. It's how I've described it when I've spoken to brands and trained team members. I've always sort of said link building, it's almost like link begging, and we definitely don't want to do that. Let's talk about link earning, and that's what I want to share with you in this video. So what exactly do I mean, firstly, by link building? I'm going to give you some of the character traits, some of the things that you might be able to recognize that either you're doing or you've heard others doing, and things that you may want to shy away from, and what it means and why. So let's get into it. So link building. These are some of the characteristics that come with a brand that is doing link building. More often than not, they will have link targets. So this was all the rage in the 2010s and even into the early 2020s. It seems to be less prevalent now, which is a good thing. But brands will often have link targets. And so with their SEO agencies, their digital marketing agencies, even their PR agencies, it will be, you've got to get us featured in X amount of publications. When there is a very set link target, often the focus can become more about quantity over quality, because you can often fall into those traps of, we've got to hit that number, we've got to hit that marker, therefore we're in link building mode. We're just in, let's get as many features as we can, let's get as many links as we can. And that, it's not always a bad sign, but it can just be a slippery slope. So if you're a brand that still has and is working to link targets, something to be mindful of. And when we get onto link earning, you'll see why that's not necessarily a good thing to be doing. Now, link building often comes from a place of, essentially, it's manipulation. And what I mean by that is, when it comes, the only reason you will have, or any brand will have a link target or be doing link building, is to manipulate the search engines. It won't be a case of, well, we need to acquire loads of links because that will help us drive more sales. Indirectly, you may think it will because you'll increase your visibility. But first and foremost, ultimately, if you are doing link building, if you have link targets, it's because you are trying to manipulate the search engines in a belief that if you acquire more links, that will increase your visibility, which is not wholly inaccurate. But if it comes from a place of, we need to get numbers on the board, we just need volume and we need lots of links in, ultimately, let's not kid ourselves, we're trying to manipulate the search engines to give us a greater lion's share of the visibility for what we want to rank for, to ultimately help us sell more of our products. That is kind of SEO 101. And when it's done with a link building kind of hat on, we just need to tread very carefully and ultimately move more to a link earning, which we'll come on to. Another reason, another key characteristic when it comes to link building is competitor links. So if you're working with an agency, digital agency, SEO agency, often they will analyze and look at competitors and go, well, your competitors have been featured on this publication and they've mentioned on this blog and they've been written for this title or this publication. And so looking at competitors' links, it almost becomes well, they're featured, well, we need to be there. So let's get some links on their website as well. And again, you're in that link building mindset and mode because you're wanting to replicate wherever they've been featured. You think, well, they're there, we need to be there as well. And that was true for blogs, it's true for any and all types of websites, media publications, directories, etc., etc. So competitor links is often another characteristic of where a brand can be very easily led and swayed into a link building mindset, something to be very aware of. In addition to that, there's just the good old-fashioned vanity link. So often brands will, just want to be featured in, I just really want to be featured in or have a link from this website. I just would love to have, be linked to from X title or Y title. And sometimes there is a legitimate reason for that and it makes good business sense to do it. Other times it is just purely the vanity, and we've seen brands pay over the odds for links because they just want to be having been featured on this media title, that publication, or there's just a vanity element to it. And sometimes that can lead you down, down paths you might not want to go down. It certainly can lead you into a pay to play and an area where you're just you end up acquiring links that maybe don't necessarily align with what you're trying to ultimately achieve. And they don't really help you. So that's something again to be mindful of. And lastly, we sort of touched on it, but paid for links. So, paying to play. So paying to do, in the good old days, guest blogging and, and paying for features and paying for name checks and mentions and all of that good stuff. Again, if you're doing any kind of pay to play or paying for links, paying for features, again, you're very much in a link building mindset, and to really scale your brand, to really grow online and do things properly and ultimately have everything aligned to your commercial goals. This has a very limiting factor. It can work. All of these can work. I mean, we don't do any of these, but it can work. It does work. And brands are still doing a lot of these. Brands are still analyzing their competitors every day. They're still chasing those vanity links. Brands, to my amazement, are still paying for placements. Brands do still have link targets, which just blows my mind. And ultimately brands are still doing it because they're in this belief that if we get any links in, that will increase our visibility and drive our brand on. And sometimes that's the case, more often than not, it's not. So if you can recognize any one or more of these, then you might be working for a brand or within a brand that is very much in a link building mindset. And what we need to do and what you need to do, having watched this video, is get your team, you get your colleagues around and say, right guys, we need to move more into a link earning mindset. And I'm going to show you what that looks like right now. Okay, so now let's talk about link earning, because that is fundamentally a very different, it's a complete mind shift. It's a very different way of thinking about acquiring links, because ultimately we need links to improve our visibility. Of course we do, but the mind shift change from moving from link building into link earning is huge. Here are just a few examples of what link earning will look like, some of the characteristics. Now, first and foremost, I've put no Google. So when you're focused on earning links, you would want to earn those links even if Google didn't exist. What do I mean by that? Well, often, if it's a link that we want because, that will help our SEO because it's Google will see that link and it will recognize it and it will give us some authority, and that you're in a very link building mindset. If we ask ourselves, would we want that link, that feature? Would we want to participate, to share our expertise, our knowledge on that third party website or in that media title or as per that expert comment or in whatever guise? Would we want to do that if there was going to be zero value from Google? If the answer is yes, then it's very likely to be a fantastic link for your brand and a mention and something that's going to have genuine value for the business, for your brand, that is not just to manipulate Google. Really key, and it's something I love to reiterate to brands that we work with, to my colleagues, is a way of saying, well, okay, that link looks great. Would we want it if Google didn't exist? If you ask that of yourself and of your colleagues, would we want that link? Would we want that mention? Would we participate? Would we get involved if Google didn't exist? If they say, oh no, we want it for the link, for the link juice or for the authority that's going to give us, it might be okay, but you'll find yourself going down a very link building route. You're doing it for link building purposes rather than thinking, no, there's a genuine greater reason for why I want to acquire that mention, be featured, be included, be referenced, be sourced. That's great for my brand. It's great for my authority as an expert in my field, etc., etc. And then the rest of these, so value, useful content, expertise, resources, help, advise, and educate. All of these are built around the same underlying principle, which is, in order to earn links, in order to move away from having to link build. Link building, the way I think about link building is you going out. With link building, you're going out, it's basically link begging, as I said. You're going out, knocking on doors. Can I have a link, please? Can I have a link? Can you feature me? Can you include me? Can you do this? With link earning, you flip the whole thing on its head. So you put out great expertise, you share your knowledge, your experience, you add value, you help, you educate, you offer insight. By doing all of these things, which is part of a content marketing strategy, and it's you becoming an information resource, and it's you utilizing your website for more than just a shop window. It's utilizing it to say, this is the value, this is the way I can help the world, this is the reason I'm in business, this is why our product is so fantastic, because of the problem it solves or the purpose it has or whatever it might be. When you do that, you will find that your content will be referenced. You will be being included in useful content because you're creating useful content, so you will get links back to. And it just makes the pitching of links and the request for inclusion that much easier, because you've got some value to add, right? You're not going out there saying, can I have a link? You're saying, hey, I've written this expert guide. I've got these resources. I've shared my expertise. I've got some genuine value to add. I have created some really useful content. I help, I advise, I educate. All of these things is you giving in order to receive. And the greatest way to receive is to give first. The greatest way to grow is by sharing and educating and adding value. And so the whole premise of link earning is, it's quite a mind shift change for a lot of brands, because it's, well, how do we do that? And it ties back to content marketing and having a good strategy and wanting to share and being willing to essentially open up and educate and offer value and turn your website, your business into an information resource. And there's 101 ways you can do that, and there are lots of videos that I've created that talk about this in all sort of various ways. But when you do it, what you will find is, one, people will link to you naturally and organically, and that's the real power. When brands and media start to come to you, the press starts coming, well, you're seen as the expert, and they can't start to, can you comment on this? Can you do it? That's amazing. That's when you know you've cracked it. And that's what we have for a lot of our brands, is we have those contacts. They come to us, say, can your client comment on X or Y? Can we feature you? We're running a campaign. We need some input. We need some ideas. We need some data. We need some whatever it might be. Similarly, when you've got these resources, when you've got genuine value, when you've got useful content on your website, when you've got when you are seen as an expertise and you reinforce that consistently, when you've got amazing resources, when you focus your brand on helping, advising, educating, when you do all of those things, it's that much easier. Not only will the links come to you, but it's much easier for you to earn the links, because you've done the hard work, you're putting the hard work in, so you are earning those links. So when you go out, people are so much more receptive to you saying, well, I've got this great thing, because you're not going out link begging, saying, can I have? You're saying, here is for you. And you see the subtle yet hugely powerful difference that makes. It goes from being a can I have to a you might find this valuable. Your audience might find this useful. I've helped you. I've added value. I'm sharing my expertise. I'm educating. I'm adding expertise, value, insight, knowledge. Do you see how that is just so powerful? And that is the difference between link building versus link earning. And there's so many brands are increasingly adopting this link earning strategy. It takes more work. It requires a bigger, wider strategy in terms of your digital growth strategy, your content marketing, your promotional strategy, etc., etc. But like with a lot of the stuff I put on the Ask Aaron series, it's about the philosophy. Once you get the philosophy and the mindset shift, in as much as, okay, we don't, I'm fed up of link building. I in my career, I've had it where brands would they were just link building, and they were setting link targets. All the stuff I've listed, I can relate to, because I've been there, done it, seen it. If you're a brand, you don't want to be setting link targets. You don't want to be having to go out and link beg. What you want to be doing is have people come to you. What you want to be doing is reinforcing, go, no, I am the expert. I am putting my expertise out there. I am sharing my knowledge. I am helping the world in my own little tiny way. What I'm doing in these videos is I am putting myself out there. I'm sharing my expertise, sharing my value. I am providing resources and helping, advising, and educating via video, via the stuff we put on our e-commerce hub. All of these good things, it's a way of doing, and I'm earning links. People are linking to my content. People are referring to me. People are mentioning me, the brand, Evergreen, etc., etc. And that's very, very powerful. And it means from a link perspective, from a link acquisition perspective, we don't have to do any outreach, because not only are people linking to me, but when we want to go to the press or we want to push something out there, we can go and we just say, well, we're the expert. Check out our YouTube channel. Check out this, check out that. We've got some genuine value to add, and we can push that out there. And that's exactly what we're doing for all of our clients. We're creating evergreen content. I'll include the link to our evergreen content guide, because evergreen content, the principle of that is, it's not just something we've branded, by the way. Evergreen content is actually a thing. But evergreen content, the principle behind that is create something of real huge value that's amazing, create it once, and then put it out there. And if you do that, and you can then pitch that and say, well, here is this best on the internet, best on the web guide, resource, whatever. And then if the person you're pitching it to has a genuine interest in it, they will lap that up. They will really appreciate that and they'll value it. And that's what we're doing for all of our clients is we create evergreen content and then we pitch it to the relevant people, be it journalists or bloggers or website owners or business owners at the right time when they have a vested interest in it. We find a hook and then you're giving them exactly what they want and there's genuine value. They go, this is brilliant, thank you so much, I'll take that, thank you very much. And they'll use it. Whereas, how do you think it would work if we went out to them and said, hey, you're in this, you're a website, you're this, you're that, you're a media title, can I have a link please? Which is what you're effectively doing when you're link building. So I could talk about this stuff all day, but link building, if you're doing it, stop doing it. Link earning, just think about the philosophy of this. If you do have any questions, put them in the comments. I'll gladly get back to you and I can expand on this. If you'd like me to go a bit deeper on any of these, let me know. And again, I can do another video because it's a massive topic, this, and it's a big mind shift change to move into a link earning, which is a bit like opening Pandora's box. But when you do it, wow, is it powerful and is it transformative for brands? We've seen it, we've done it for years, and it's one of the secrets of what we do and how we do it. It's very, very powerful. So I thought I'd share it with you. Hope that's useful. Loads more Ask Aaron videos coming. So I hope you're excited to see those. We'll keep producing them. I hope you find them useful. Thank you so much. If you've enjoyed this video, please do remember to like it. I very much appreciate that. And subscribe to the YouTube channel. And we'll see you on the next one. All the best. Take care.